The racing cyclists of Burundi are not afraid to take risks. Whoever wants to transport goods in Burundi does so by bike. Distances are short. Burundi is one of the smallest countries in Africa.
It's very dangerous and fatal for the cyclists to hold on to the trucks.
Burundi lies in the heart of Africa. The main traffic route winds itself from the Rwandan border down to Tanzania. The first section of the route leads from Kayanza to Bugurama. Burundi is poor, even though the land is fertile. On the northern plateau, mostly bananas are grown, dozens of different types. Bananas are the staple food in Burundi. At the outskirts of Kayanza, the biggest city in this region, the farmers sell them to middlemen. Twice a week, Pamphlet Nazagwe does his bulk buying here. He is a professional beer brewer, a banana beer brewer. Banana beer is Burundi's national drink. Tharcien Manirakiza is responsible for the transport. Farmer Pamphlet does not dare to cycle the loaded bike himself. Even if you're an experienced rider, you put your life at risk.
First I ask for the price. Then I buy 3 types, just 3. A sweet type of banana, a flowery one, and one that's less dear. Obviously, the mixture is important. The beer is supposed to be tasty.
I know nothing about brewing. That's why I'm a driver and I'm happy to be able to transport Pamphlet's bananas. That's how I struggle along.
Whenever he is not transporting bananas, Tharcien offers rides on his bicycle taxi. Tharcien has loaded 8 clusters onto his bike. Together, they make up for 160 kilos. He has to transport them 15 kilometers. Luckily, the first part is downhill. Three kilometers from his destination, there is a long ascent. Now Tharcien must really pedal. Tharcien is 22 years old. He never went to school.
Riding my bike is all I'm good at. I never did anything else. I don't even want to, except if I found less tiring work. I definitely don't want to be carrying anything on top of my head like the women do. It's exhausting to pedal, yes, but carrying things on my head, no way.
After 45 minutes, Tharcien reaches his destination, the banana beer brewers' village. Burundi is one of the poorest countries in Africa. Owning a bike is worth a great deal here. But Tharcien must already support a wife and 2 kids in his early 20s.
How can I save money with a job like this? It's just about enough to sustain my family and myself, nothing more. Look, I can't even afford new trousers. I am no dreamer. This job holds no future whatsoever.
Pamphil has been brewing banana beer, umbubira, on the farm next to his house and is in for 15 years now. He lets the bananas ripen in a pit for another week. The farmer can only process the bananas if they have developed enough sweetness. Otherwise, the fermentation process might not take place properly. Bananas with a thick skin are especially well suited for producing banana beer. His own family and a few workers from the village assist Pamphil with the production.
My life as a beer brewer is a good one, really. I make good money and I'm able to pay the workers' wages. I will never be rich, of course. I mean, we can't afford to buy new shoes and things like that. But I don't have to go around stealing things. The family has enough to eat, and we can send the kids to school. Nobody tells me what to do, and I don't need to go chasing after my money. I am my own master.
It's still only banana juice. To turn it into beer, the liquid has to be stored for a few days. The brewer's yeast allows for fermentation.
It takes 2 days for the beer to be right.
2 bottles of this and everything spins round.
But right now it's unfermented. It doesn't make you tipsy.
But the beer Pamphil serves in his inn does. He doesn't know the alcohol percentage. He never measured it. The road leading to the banana beer brewers' village continues on, leading south. To Bujumbura, the capital city of Burundi, it's 100 kilometers, and it's up and down the hill the whole way. The road serves as a transit route between Rwanda and Tanzania. Antoine Kabura has been driving it for 10 years with his truck. Normally, he only drives during daytime. Driving at night would be too risky.
The roads are all right, but much too narrow, sometimes not even 6 meters wide. Oncoming traffic often poses problems. You must always avoid the potholes and these many bends. Luckily, I'm a good driver, but for a main road, it's definitely too narrow.
Antoine arrives at Gitega, the second largest city of Burundi, with 45,000 inhabitants. Alex Iradukunda works as a reporter for the local radio station, Humorisa. Her job is to report on the traffic, which primarily means the situation for the cyclists.
Tell me, what are the difficulties?
For us cyclists, the trucks are worse. They make life difficult for us.
I hear this over and over again. They complain about the trucks. It really is a tough and exhausting job. Not to mention the bike thieves. Their numbers are increasing. It's bad when the bike is gone. And don't forget the accidents and injuries.
Gitega, situated in the center of the country, used to be the capital of the Kingdom of Burundi. It was also the administrative center at the turn of the century, from the 19th to the 20th century, when Burundi was a German colony. Today, the city is an important traffic junction. "26 reporters work for Radio Humorisa. Alex is done with her report on the cyclists.
It's difficult for the cyclists here, even those just transporting other people. But for those who transport bulky goods, it's even more difficult. But they have no choice. Their wives and kids need something to eat.
Another 60 kilometers to Bujumbura, uphill, downhill. Antoine Kabura could drive faster, but he knows what's happening behind him, so he doesn't want to risk an accident. Whoever wants to save time and energy holds on to his truck. Antoine finds this really annoying.
What they are doing poses a lethal hazard, not only for them, but also for us truck drivers. I often have to abruptly dodge due to approaching traffic or because of a pothole. The cyclists that are holding on to the truck can't see it coming. They're surprised by it and crash. Terrible. I often see it in the rear mirror. Some die. I think they should stop it. It's prohibited too.
Eric Nitsitunga has been transporting bananas from the north to the capital for 5 years. He fixed 14 clusters to his carrier. That's about 250 kilos, a lot, even by Burundian standards.
I have to tie the bananas to the carrier in such a way that the center of gravity lies in the middle. One mistake, and I would lose my balance in the curves and crash. I also have to make sure that the bananas don't get bruised.
Even Eric can't resist the temptation to let himself be pulled up the hill. It doesn't always turn out well. The officers also punish cyclists that hold onto trucks. Whoever gets caught must pay a fine. Eric, the courier, puts up with that.
I think the cyclists should really stop holding onto our trucks. Too many accidents happen because of it. It should be banned. The police should enforce it. Or the cyclists could fix a little engine to their bikes for going uphill.
Eric heard the policeman's whistle just in time to let go. The Burundi government has almost doubled the amount of traffic policemen over the last years. Too many accidents occur on the roads in Burundi, also due to technical defects. But the main problem are the racing cyclists.
More action should be taken against these cyclists holding on to trucks. It's simply too dangerous. It is prohibited, but they just won't respect us.
Another 40 kilometers to Bujumbura. The closer you get to the capital, the busier the narrow road becomes. The Kibira National Park, with its 400 square kilometers, runs along a small side road. The next stage on the cyclist road leads from Bugarama to the capital city, Bujumbura. Already early in the morning, the first cyclists are on their way to supply the markets. The Bugarama cyclists are famous throughout the whole country. They transport the heaviest and bulkiest goods and are the fastest riders. Bugarama, situated at the southern tip of the Kibira National Park, is a traffic junction. Two federal roads meet here and unify to lead to the capital of Burundia. Bicycle courier Eric lives near Bugarama. The bananas here are cheaper than in the capital. Today, one cluster cost 8,000 Burundian francs, about €4. Together with his girlfriend, Eric lives in a small house right on the road to Bujumbura. They have no children yet. They want to wait until Eric has found a less dangerous job. The 200-kilo load literally pushes Eric downhill. He quickly reaches speeds of up to 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. He can't apply the brakes. His tires would burst. If the roads are wet, you're likelier to slip. But since he can't apply the brakes, he must wait for the next descent. Until then, it's brace yourself and hope for the best. Nobody knows just how many accidents occur and how many cyclists are actually involved. There is no such thing as traffic statistics in Burundi. Often the poor condition of the bikes is responsible. The last ascent up to Bujumbura is tough. Without help, no one would manage to move forward. And so a new profession emerged, the pushing assistant. The men earn 10 cents for the 15-minute tour. At the end of the long ascent, a little shop offers food and beverages. Eric doesn't always have enough money to buy something for himself after this exhausting ascent. Lucia, the shop assistant, knows Eric and puts it on the tab if he can't pay. she feels for the cyclists.
This work takes up a lot of energy. You need to be really strong in order to do this, especially if you have to push the fully loaded bike uphill. Often it weighs more than 200 kilos. So you need lots of energy. That's why I eat mainly carbs, for example, corn. And I drink hot milk every day.
From here to Bujumbura is another 15 kilometers, and it's only downhill. Eric trusts his steering abilities. He doesn't have much choice. He already had quite a few accidents, but up to now, he only suffered some bruises and bone fractures. Arrival in Bujumbura. The cyclists have to push their way through the traffic of this lively metropolis. The first shop Eric is delivering to lies at the far end of the city. The Burundi Highway runs along the banks of Lake Tanganyika for 200 kilometers heading south, right up to the Tanzanian border. Instead of bananas, people grow lots of oil palms here. They are being transported on bicycles as well. A bunch can weigh up to 50 kilos. The landscape in the south of Burundi is less hilly than in the north, so the bike couriers can travel greater distances, up to 100 kilometers per day.
If I don't have so much to carry, I enjoy my work. Like today, that's fine. I'm bringing the fruits to a palm oil factory. I then load the filled oil cans and take them to the market, where they're sold. The job is all right, so long as you hold the road well and don't have to worry about crashing in the curves. It's then I enjoy the work.
Faustin Dabazanye's palm grove is situated directly on the main road. Together with his son Patrick, he looks for ripe fruits, which he can later process in his palm oil factory, which is 10 kilometers away. Patrick is a gifted climber.
Even though we are next to the lake, the soil is dry and sandy, which is not good for the palms. They don't grow properly and bear little fruit. But we are lucky. Our soil contains many nutrients, in spite of the nearby lake. That's why our palms are so tall and strong, and the oil tastes well too.
Only when the fruits have taken on an orange-red color are they ripe for harvesting and are easy to pick. Patrick transports the crop from his father's palm oil grove to the oil factory himself. They have to be kept there for a few days before they can be processed to oil. Patrick much prefers climbing up the trees to carrying the heavy load on his bike.
I still go to school and I only do this in my spare time to earn some money. Later I want to take on a proper job, but right now I do both. Work as a bike courier and study.
At 6 a.m., the men returned from fishing. They spent the whole night out on the lake. Today, they didn't catch much. The waves were too high. For a few years now, they are only allowed to fish every second week in order to protect the fish stock. Cesar Salvatore has been a fisherman for 8 years now.
I believe the fishing restrictions are a good thing. It gives us fishermen a rest, and we get to spend more time with our families. And the fish can breed in those 7 days. That's a good thing.
After school, Patrick earns some extra money working as a bicycle courier. He doesn't have to sustain a family, so he feels less pressure. The bike courier has arrived at Faustin's palm oil factory. The production is in full process. The ripe fruits are loosened from the bunches and are cleaned, first of all. The oil manufacturer has meanwhile gotten used to the traffic and the ado on the adjacent road. Faustin has been in the palm oil business for 3 years now.
The oil palm means a lot to us. It always gives us oil, which we can use for cooking. We use the palm fronds as broomsticks. The remaining pips we use to make soap or shampoo. The fibers, also a byproduct, help to light a fire, and oil palm provides everything we humans need.
About 20 palm oil farmers have joined in a cooperative and operate the old squeezing machine together. Everyone can process his own fruit there. Faustin is checking the production flow. The water cools the machine so the oil doesn't go rancid. Twenty families make their living from this. Their existence, as well as the economy of the whole country, depends on the timely deliverance of fresh supplies. And the racing cyclists of Burundi will take care of that.